Welcome to episode 11 of Bloggers Are Weird. I'm your host, DJ Paris from the blog thoughtsfromparis.com. And today is a really fun episode. I got to interview one of my blog heroes, also a friend, and just a huge, huge face and name and voice in the blogging community, Jen from People I Want to Punch in the Throat. And I'm going to digress for a second because I had my house cleaned today from a house cleaning service. I have a new person that came in. And the only reason I'm mentioning this is it was so bizarre and I've got it stuck in my head. Every time she did a room, and I only have, a handful of rooms. It's not like my place is some palatial mansion, but she would call me over, which number one, she called me Mr. Paris, which that in and of itself is pretty funny because no one calls me that. And I kept trying to correct her, but she insisted. So she'd say, Mr. Paris, can you come check out the kitchen? I want to make... Oh, and by the way, she cleaned my refrigerator, scoped top to bottom. Was awesome. I had so much disgusting shit in there. I'm not even kidding. I had stuff that had leaked down underneath the vegetable drawer that I never thought, well, I could just pull the drawer out and clean like it was like palm cranberry juice. It had dried and crusted over, and I forgot that she was cleaning the refrigerator. I would have normally been too embarrassed and cleaned it myself, but I totally forgot. So she would come over and say, Mr. Paris, can you check the area? Is it clean enough? And every time I'd say, yeah, it looks fine, she'd go, cool beans, just like that. And she's probably 42, 43 years old. And every time she must have said cool beans 14 times. She'd say, what about the bathroom? Is it okay? And I'd say, yeah. She'd go, cool beans. And I just thought that was funny. So I'm not sure if you guys care. But anyway, so today, Jen from People I Want to Punch in the Throat, who would definitely never say the word cool beans because she would make fun of people who did that. But we're going to talk to her here in a few minutes. So grab a tumbler of schnapps or whatever your drug of choice is. Mine is thin crust Domino's pizza. And I live in Chicago, and I know that's not cool. I'm aware. You don't have to say anything. But sit back, relax, and enjoy. Today's podcast is sponsored by romance-text.com. Looking to reignite the passion in your relationship? You have to check out romance-text.com. This is how to use text messages to bring back the passion and reignite the spark you once had. Now, if you're thinking this sounds cheesy or maybe it's just learning how to send dirty text messages, it's actually not. This program by relationship expert Michael Fiore has been featured in over 200 television and radio shows. This program has a money-back guarantee, is normally $97, but listeners of Bloggers Are Weird get a special price of only $47 for the entire program. By purchasing the program, you help support this show. Visit romance-text.com and get the passion back.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but you can't go anywhere. So it got canceled, so I'm home for the next 2 days with my kids after a 5-day weekend already with them. So, woo!
Hey, can I tell you that I honestly thought your last name was like Twit for like, I'm not even kidding, for about the last year. And then because you had sent out an email a while back, I think somebody must have like hacked into your site or something, and you were worried about people getting access to something, and so you sent an email, and I was like, oh, okay, that's her last name. I didn't really think about it. I go, oh, she must be Polish or something. And I swear to God, it didn't occur to me that spelled out People I Want to Punch in the Throat.
That's funny. Well, yeah, because the other day you were like, yeah, I think I know your last name. I'm like, really? Because nobody does, but all right, whatever.
No, I'm not that Snoopy. But because then I remembered, I went, oh, wait, that wasn't her last name.
That's funny.
This is so funny. So I was talking to this girl I'm dating earlier tonight, who, by the way, does not read blogs.
Oh, no.
And I mean, probably once in a while, but she's not an avid blog reader. And I said, oh, I'm interviewing this woman tonight for the podcast. And she said, who? And I said, it's Jen from People I Want to Punch. By the way, I'm speaking to Jen from People I Want to Punch in the Throat. And a famous blogger, very successful, viral blogger. And she goes, oh, she wrote Elf on the Shelf. And I said, yeah, how did you know that? And she goes, oh, everyone's read that. I could not believe that. So that is like the biggest compliment. Somebody who doesn't read blogs knows that piece. I could not believe it.
That's awesome. I'd love to hear stories like that.
Sure. Well, it was also, I know that it was picked up by the Huffington Post and probably a million other websites, but
this year it was. Last year when it first went viral, I didn't quite understand. I didn't understand, like sharing or whatever. And so I was all freaked out that everybody wanted it, and I was just like, it's mine. You can't have it. It's mine. And so then this year I was like, oh yeah, you can have it. Sure, go ahead, run it. So. Sure. Keep
the views coming.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I needed to get it out on a bigger audience. My people had already read it already. So.
Did you go to BlogHer this past year in New York?
I did. Yes.
Yeah, I was there too. I was one of like 5 men.
Yeah, but you were not the one who punched the cake, right?
No, but I heard about that.
Yeah.
But at that party, I was the balloonicorn, and the woman who was doing all of the woman who created the traveling red dress, which, by the way, for those of you who aren't there, this is a reference from Jenny from the blog S, who had this traveling red dress thing. Somebody made this red dress out of balloons, and then women would go around and put it on. And she also, the same woman, made me this gigantic unicorn balloon that fit around my body. So I was walking around the party as that. It was pretty embarrassing.
And I can't believe I didn't see you. Yeah.
Well, but then apparently some guy went and punched the gigantic cake like at the end of the night, and I heard about that.
I did, yeah, but then I heard since then that I guess that's tradition or something. This was my first BlogHer, and all I knew was, I just saw some guy like attack a cake, and then it just, it was a huge mess, and the people who were trying to clean up, it's like, I don't know, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning or something, and the people who work at the hotel are trying to shut down this party, and now there's just cake everywhere, and so yeah, it was interesting. I don't know, great tradition, I guess.
Well, it was 5,000 women and maybe 20 men, and I was one of the guys, and I remember a couple of the women who said, "Ooh, it must be great being a guy at BlogHer with all these women around." And then one of the women goes, "If he tried anything, the whole place would turn on him." And I felt that way. I felt that it was very much a very warm and safe place. I really liked it. I loved it.
Yeah, it was a lot of people though. It was a little overwhelming.
Yeah, it was a little tough to find places to sit for food and things like that.
Yeah.
But I had a great time. We're having it in Chicago this year, so I'm excited to do that.
I assume you'll be there this year.
I'll be there, but I did do a request to speak, and I wanted to do a panel on how to attract male readers, and it did not make the cut. But I thought it was a good idea. But I don't think I don't even think they usually let men speak, so it would have been unusual. So what speaking of women, what are you going to read today?
Well, actually, I'm going to read Inside My Closet, and it was actually one of the BlogHer's Voices of the Year honorees last year. So it was for humor. I had this one, and I had The Elf on the Shelf were both submitted, but this is the one they picked, and I was kind of glad they did because I like this one as well as I like The Elf. So it's called Inside My Closet.
Go ahead.
I get this magazine delivered to my house every month. It's one of those glossy mags that you get for free because you live in the right zip code. There's absolutely no substance to it. It's full of ads for Botox and vein treatments, chic women's clothing, and lists upon lists of restaurants and boutiques in the area that the publisher thinks I make enough money to frequent. One of the columns in this magazine is an ongoing one where each month they single out some suburban woman and photograph her inside her closet wearing her favorite outfit. The interview consists of questions like, what are you wearing? And what do you do during the day? It is always a hilarious read. This magazine arrived today, and I honestly thought this month's interview was faked. The column was called Inside My Closet. This woman was photographed in her ridiculously organized closet wearing a bunch of brands I barely recognize, and when they asked her about her daily routine, she bragged that she does, quote, GTL, like the Jersey Shore, only different. Instead of gym, tan, laundry, she does gym, tennis, and lunch. You have got to be kidding me. Who actually says that out loud and allows it to be printed? This got me thinking. Yes, I think her answers are vapid, but really, would mine be any better? What would I say if this magazine ever came calling to my house? First, the photo would be laughable. It would be a jumble of cheap clothes and Payless shoes with me perched in the mess somewhere peering out from behind the hamper of dirty clothes. I might clean my closet if I knew they were coming, but I definitely wouldn't change out all of my plastic hangers to slimline hangers because I really don't give a shit about the aesthetics of my closet. Hell, I barely separate my summer clothes from my winter clothes. Do you think I give a fuck about how many clothes drape on their hangers? My answers would be just as idiotic as hers, just more lowbrow. What are you wearing? Well, my best cargo pants from Eddie Bauer and a black fitted t-shirt from Sam's Club. I really like the stretchiness of the fabric. Why do you like this outfit? Because cargo pants seem cooler than mom jeans, and I didn't think yoga pants would be appropriate for this photo shoot. Plus, they still have the tags on them. I like to wear black on top because it draws attention away from the girls, and it will camouflage nicely when I spill my lunch on it later. Describe your closet and what you most like about it. It's big and it has a door so you can't see how messy it is. The cubbies make nice places to hide Christmas gifts and forget them until 2 years later. Plus the fluorescents really light it up and make my black shirts look great. What is your most treasured fashion splurge? I have a sweet collection of Crocs, not knockoffs, bitches. This winter I spent extra and got the furry-lined ones. My fashion splurges always revolve around the 3 C's of fashion. Crocs, cargo pants, and outlet Coach bags. Yeah, I carry a Coach bag with my cargos because it's classy. In what ways does your wardrobe reflect your personality? Duh. How does it not reflect my personality? Look, when I walk into a party, every other woman's outfit in that place is screaming, look at me, look at me. I've got so many impressive labels, and I can barely walk. I walk into a party and my outfit whispers, hey, I made it, even though you gave me the wrong address. I'm sure it was just a mistake. Anyway, I'm here, and I wasn't sure exactly what cocktail attire meant. I hope my prairie skirt works. Anyway, my outfit is not what's important. What I have to say is important. So listen up, bitches. There are kids dying in this world someplace, and your shoes could have fed them for months. Why do you love living in South Johnson County? What's not to love? I live exactly 2.5 miles in either direction from a Target. When I'm feeling a case of writer's block coming on, I get in my car that I wish was a minivan and head out to Target and walk the aisles to get fodder. Where else can you live where you can see passive-aggressive mothers in $100 yoga pants negotiating with a 3-year-old in the toy aisle? No, Rocco. Mommy told you you're not getting any toys today. Oh, Rocco, please don't cry. Oh, baby, now Mommy is sad. Okay, how about a stuffed animal? Rocco, please don't scream at Mommy. It makes Mommy feel bad, and it hurts Mommy's feelings. I know you're sad because Mommy said no toys, but now I'm trying to help you find a toy, but you don't like the ball, and you don't like the stuffed animal. Fine, Rocco, just stop crying, and Mommy will buy you the archery set you want. I'm sure the age guidelines on the box are just for legal reasons. You don't really need to be 12 to shoot an arrow. Let's go. Mommy needs toilet paper. What is your design philosophy when it comes to fashion? Is this a real question? My design philosophy is basically this. 1. If a clothing item is black, khaki, forest green, or brown and is on the clearance rack at Eddie Bauer, Gap, or Old Navy, or a store similar to these, I will stop and look at it and see if it fits into my wardrobe. 2. I can never have too many black shirts. 3. I buy nothing that requires dry cleaning and preferably nothing that requires ironing. What is your secret when it comes to loving how you look? Low lights and as few mirrors as possible. Do you have any fashion tips you might offer? Take $30 to Walmart and invest heavily in scarves and hats. They can cover a host of problems. Bad hair day? Throw on a cute $6 hat. Drip toothpaste on your shirt? No problem. Drape a $5 scarf over the offending area and you're good to go. The end.
Thank you. That was great. So how did you get started in blogging?
I just started venting. I started my blog He'll be 2 years in April, and I started because my husband was sick of listening to me bitch. I work from home with him. He's my only coworker, and the two of us are together 24/7. And I would complain about stuff, and he just was really, I think, tired of it. And I was a writing major in college, and I've always said I was going to write. And so he said, could you please just put this in a blog so I don't have to listen anymore? And so I did.
Well, you have had so much success so quickly. Has it been overwhelming?
Yeah, it was really, it was very nerve-wracking at the beginning, last Christmas, and when I went viral in December of 2011, I was really freaked out. At that point I'd had 70 readers and I knew most of them. And then when the Elf went viral, I was in a corner kind of rocking. But I just decided at that point, that's what I'd wanted. I'd wanted people to read me. I wanted to write. I wanted this to happen. So I took advantage of it and tried to grow the blog and stay on top of it.
I was rereading the Elf post today, and I have a friend who has one, and I had forgotten that he had one, and he was telling me about it recently. And he does all of that stuff with his Elf, he and his wife. They put this thing everywhere, and it becomes pretty obnoxious. I don't think my parents put that much energy into my entire child rearing.
See, my mother is an overachiever, and I'm convinced it skips a generation because I'm raising an overachiever. So my mom was very into, she wrapped all of our presents. Everyone had their own wrapping paper. It was their paper, and she made stockings. And, if elves had existed back then, she would have had elves. I always tell her if Pinterest had existed, I can't imagine what she could have done if she had Pinterest. But, and so for me, I got the elf as a gift from a friend, and it was a cute thing. And if you read the story, it talks about how the elf is helpful and he just sits on a shelf. And then when I saw how over the top people were taking it. And then yesterday somebody sent me, I'm still doing my research to figure out if this is true or not, but somebody sent me a photo yesterday of there's going to be a birthday elf maybe. The Elf on the Shelf people are coming out with a birthday book, and that will just send me over the edge if that's true.
I feel that parents today are becoming so kid-centric. Mm-hmm. And I have a friend who he and his wife take their little boy down to Disney World every single year.
Wow.
And yeah, but I don't think that's a good thing. That's something you could write about. I don't know that that's healthy.
No, there's a lot of people who do that. I have to say, I've taken my kids twice. I have an aunt who lives in Orlando, and she's always, telling us that we can come and stay there, and it's an easy trip. She takes care of us. We stay with her for free. She feeds us. She babysits my kids, and I have to go to Disney one day. So, but yeah, I think you're right. Everybody kind of has, your kids are your center of your world, no doubt, and you love your kids and you want the best for your kids. But yeah, it's really become where the kids run the entire show, and there's not much that the adults are doing anymore that isn't focused on their kids.
Yeah, I agree. I've noticed that a lot. It just seems like too many activities, too much structure, mm-hmm. and too much catering.
Yeah.
To the child's every whim, and it seems that a lot of parents have really taken the role of friend over parent, and I find that to be disturbing.
Yeah, it's especially here, like where I live in. I live out in the suburbs, and so everything is you do everything for your kids, and we're here because the schools are good, and and that sort of thing. But you see so many parents that I call them passive parents, that they just want to be their kid's friend, and they want Junior to be happy, and don't be sad, and don't worry about anything, and they do their homework for them, and and they have them so overscheduled because they don't know what to do. Like, they're just not allowed to be kids anymore and just play outside or what have you. So yeah, it's definitely going to be an epidemic. I'm interested to see what the kids grow up to be like.
Yeah. Oh, tell us about the book. I forgot to mention. I know it's been out for a while, but talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I wrote a book in October. It came out, and it's called Spending the Holidays with People I Want to Punch in the Throat. It's available on Amazon and iTunes and Barnes & Noble, all that, and also on my site. But it is it's a collection of humorous essays. The elf is in there. He's in there. And then there's a lot of stories about my childhood, being raised by an overachieving mom, and just a lot of funny stuff. It's had really good success. I've been really happy with it. It's been really well received. It has lots of positive reviews on Amazon and stuff. And then now I'm working on another book that's coming out here in another probably month or so, and that's going to be I Just Want to Pee Alone, and that is an anthology that I've put together of 35 really funny mom bloggers that are all contributing to that. So I'm excited for that one too.
I am proud to have one of the top reviews for your first book.
Yes.
That I forgot was there. I was just looking at it on Amazon. By the way, you have like over 200 reviews. I think you have a 4.5 out of 5 star. It's a fantastic book, but my review, I totally forgotten I had written this, was said, if you don't buy this book, you deserve a punch in the throat and the crotch. So that's my contribution. My contribution to your book.
Yes, thank you. I do. I remember when that one came in. That one it's like at the top now. Everyone keeps saying it's very useful, very helpful. So thanks.
Yeah, I guess so. So what's next? So you've got another book coming out. Are you going to just continue to work on the blog? Obviously, that's not stopping. But any other future plans?
Well, I actually just signed with a literary agent this month, and I'm actually working on a book proposal right now that we're going to be taking out to publishing houses and see if we can't get because my Spending the Holidays book is a self-published book, but because it did so well, it got some attention, and so now I'm looking to maybe go traditional and actually see I'd love to see my book on the shelf at Target or something like that. So I'm working on a book proposal right now with her, and then obviously the blog will still keep going.
Yeah, and I like how your blog isn't strictly the one-trick pony where you do just talk about your daily life and try to find humor in it as well. Because obviously, there's more to your life than just making fun of ridiculous things. But by the way, all that stuff needs to be made fun of. I mean, there's no question that, and there's so much material out in suburbia, I'm sure. But I like the fact that you also talk about just daily life and how, I know right now you're on, in fact, I think you wrote about this today or yesterday you're on like a workout kick, you and your husband, and you've lost a whole bunch of inches and weight, and that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's been, I try to do whatever, I don't know, I don't want to just write about my kids or just things, not just sometimes I'll feel like, gosh, I'm really angry. Like I've got so many rants going on. I'm so angry. But then other times it's a lot of just fun stuff. Like we've just been having fun. And so I'm writing about that. And then the weight loss thing, that's been really cool. That was an opportunity that was presented to me a few months ago. I met this woman and she has been really great and very helpful. And because I'm not a person at all who is self-motivated to get up off the couch and put my laptop down and go work out. So she's lots of fun and she inspires me to do better. So yeah, it's been fun to write about it and, make fun of myself because I am an idiot in the workout facility, no doubt.
Well, I think that's what's great about your blog is that you make fun of yourself as much as you make fun of other people, and I think that's a great mix because there's something about that self-efficacy that people can relate to so well. Have you ever thought, I was thinking about this on the way home, have you ever thought about like taking on a race and just going to town on some poor, like an actual just race of people? I thought would be probably the end of your blog, but it would be a fantastic way to go out.
Well, I guess if I ever want to go out, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't thought about that.
Like those goddamn, I don't know, who can we think? People from Uruguay or something. Maybe you go after an ethnicity.
I guess I don't know. I go after the Hubs a lot. He's Chinese, but I don't.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Between the Hubs and myself, I think we're probably the most popular ones to get punched on there. But I do think it's important to be able to laugh at yourself, and I think it's important to show your readers like that. That you're just. You have the same issues that they have, because I think that was what really bothered me the most when I started blogging. I was kind of out there by myself, and then I would read these other blogs, and I would think, you're so full of shit. Like, there's no way your house looks like that all the time, that your kids are that great, and, your husband is so wonderful. And I'm like, just drop it. Just drop the act. Like, stop being full of shit. And so I really try to keep it real. I mean, like, if you read my Valentine's post, like, I mean, that is really me. That picture is me. And when the Huffington Post asked to republish it, the editor sent me an email and said, I just want to make sure that picture, that's you, right? And I was like, yeah. And she's met me. And so she's like, I'm like, thank you for not saying it still looks like me. but like, I mean, we're not all perfect. And I just get so tired of the perfect blogger. And so I really try to make fun of myself, because I do a lot of stupid stuff. And I'm sitting here in my fleece muumuu right now, talking to you. And this is how it should be. Everyone should just be themselves. It really irritates me.
That was the scariest thing for me, too, when I started blogging, was not to make every word perfect. And then actually to say, well, here's something I'm really afraid of, or this is something I'm really sad about.
Yeah.
And what I found is that people relate to that in some ways even more so than, if I write a story that's completely ridiculous.
Right. Yeah. I would agree with that.
So, well, look, let's go ahead and wrap this up, because you've got snow to look at, and I've got snow to look forward to. And
yeah, get your milk now. Get your milk and eggs. You're not going to get out. So.
Well, I don't fart enough, so I should definitely drink more milk. So milk just wreaks havoc.
I never fart, DJ. I never fart. I draw the line at. I do not fart. So
one of my friends says she doesn't go to the bathroom because the angels take it away.
There you go. Yes, that's me too.
Well, let's go out on that. And so if you want to read Jen's blog, if you're not already familiar, it's peopleiwannapunchinthethroat.com. If you want to follow her on Twitter, it's throat_punch. If you want to follow her on Facebook, just go ahead and type in People I Want to Punch in the Throat. She has thousands and thousands of Facebook and Twitter fans, and you probably are familiar with her. And if you want to get her book, go to Amazon and do it's Spending Time with People, or Spending the Holidays with People I Want to Punch in the Throat. It's a fantastic read. And anything else we should promote for you?
And then I Just Want to Pee Alone is the next book that's coming out, and that will also be available on Amazon and on my site soon. And if you are if you're an Amazon, what are they called? Like the Prime people, you can borrow the holiday book right now for free. So check it out.
Jen, I really appreciate your time. I had a lot of fun with you, and our listeners, I'm sure, will have enjoyed this as well. So thanks again, and say goodbye.
Goodbye.